Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Young and the Restless early spoilers October 6th to 10th. Jill's move enrages Billy in Genoa City clash. Young and the Restless early weekly spoilers for October 6th through the 10th. Look for Jill Abbott, Jess Walton, absolutely infuriating Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson. As we always do on early edition day, we start with what's coming the rest of this week, and then we're going to dive into next week's spoilers. On Wednesday, October 1st, Kyle Abbott, Michael Miller, is talking to Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron, telling her Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, is a playboy and she needs to stay away. Claire says she is going alone to LA but is going to meet Holden there for some sightseeing. Kyle says this whole thing is a trap, and Claire says it's none of his business. She also thinks that Kyle is being egotistical, assuming that all her plans revolve around him. Claire reminds him she's had a very strange life, going from Jordan Howard, Colleen Zenk, being all-controlling to Newman privilege. And she needs to figure out what's her normal, how to live her life. Kyle asks, why not figure it out with me? But Claire reminds him how terribly he betrayed her, and now she needs to figure things out on her own. Audra Charles, Zuleika Silva, is eavesdropping as Kyle is ranting about Holden and the split. Claire says that Kyle kissing Audra and then lying about it is what broke them. But Kyle reminds her that Holden also has a past with Audra, and Claire calls him jealous and says is worried she'll sleep with Holden. Then Kyle calls Claire blind, and she tells him he did so much damage today with all the stuff he's saying to her, and she just takes off. Audra reveals herself and that she was listening, and Kyle is just disgusted and says, "Go away." But Audra taunts him about psycho Claire dumping him, and Audra calls Kyle a brat, and he says that she's to blame, and she says, "Stop blaming me." Audra also says that Holden is very handsome and has cast a spell on Claire, and Kyle calls Audra poison. She tells Kyle all they had was hate sex, and he calls her disgusting again. He really hates Audra. And Kyle reminds her that Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, and Holden both walked away from her. Audra says she's still winning because Kyle and Claire split, and Kyle promises to get payback on her. Later, Claire is crying at the coffee shop over the nasty fight with Kyle. Michael Baldwin, Christian Jules LeBlanc, chats with Victor Newman, Eric Braden, when Jack Abbott, Peter Borgman, shows up, and Michael grills them about their meeting. Jack says he and Victor are allies, but Victor's kind of like, not really. Michael begs for some information to take back to Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, to get back in his good graces to prove his loyalty on Young and the Restless. And Jack agrees that Michael needs to be their inside man. Jack says Kane is going to hurt Summer Newman, Allison Lunny, and Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, Victor's grandson, if he targets Jabbo and McCarthy is taken down as well. So, Michael's pressing Victor and Jack to work together. And Jack says Jill's on the way, and hopefully, she can shut down Kane. Victor does agree that Jill being there will make Kane vulnerable, but Victor wants to wait and see what happens with Jill before he commits. Lauren Fenmore, Tracy Bregman, asks Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, if Victor is why Michael is working for Kane, and Nikki doesn't know anything about it. Lauren suspects that Michael is with Kane, acting on Victor's behalf. Nikki thinks it's plausible. Lauren says Victor treats Michael like garbage, and Nikki says that's how Victor treats his sons, too. She is such an enabler. Nikki says she doesn't want to meddle or know about Victor's plans, but Lauren gets upset, and she does think Nikki is enabling Victor by ignoring the bad things he does, same way Michael did. And Lauren reminds her that Michael quit because Victor wanted to destroy Jack. Nikki says she can't change Victor's opinion on Jack, and she loves him no matter what. Lauren says she can't take it anymore. She's sick of Michael running around after Victor. And then Lauren asks Nikki to find out to confirm for her if Michael is back with Victor. Nikki doubts that Victor will tell her, and she and Lauren wonder if Kane's threats are real. Nikki thinks they are, and she hopes Victor can stop Kane, and she heads over to the office. Victor says Jill's on the way to town and that Jack just left. But Nikki said Michael is working with Kane, and Victor plays dumb. And then Nikki directly asks if Victor has been working with Michael, and he keeps sidestepping. Finally, Nikki calls Victor out for not answering her questions, and as usual, she doesn't press him. She just leaves. Jack calls, and Victor agrees that the plan is on track. Nikki calls Lauren and says she agrees that Victor and Michael are up to something. So Lauren confronts Michael and walks out. On Thursday, October 2nd, Amy Lewis, Valerie Pettiford, and Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, realize they share some things in common, and we know they both miss Damian Kane, Jermaine Rivers, and they both despise Kane. We'll see what else comes up. Audra tries to convince Nate to take her back. There is no way he is going to do it. He's absolutely done with her. Jill arrives back in Genoa City, ready to deal with Kane and also with Billy. Plus, Jill plans a face-to-face meeting with Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, to discuss funding Abbotcom. And Jill and Sally may end up working together to help Billy. But the question is, will that upset him more? Friday, October 3rd, Billy has a reunion with Jill, but it's very upsetting. And he is being forced to deal with some painful truths and tear apart some scars. Billy feels like that Jill always excuses anything Kane does and thinks he can do no wrong, while she thinks Billy does everything wrong. I do wonder if Jill's going to tell him she chatted with Sally. Jack and Victor agree on their new plan of attack. And also this week, Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, and Chelsea Lawson-Newman, Melissa Claire Egan, get a surprise visit from Nick. He drops by their offices at Newman Media and tells Adam that he and Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, are going to LA for a few weeks to help their son Noah Newman, Rory Gibson, with a new club. Nick may fill Adam in on Victor's alliance with Jack, and of course, Adam is going to worry about this so-called truce. And don't forget, we have new Noah Newman about to start. It is Lucas Adams in the role. Next week, October 6th through the 10th, Jill may tell Damian that he needs to cut Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, loose. If you remember, Jill insisted that Billy fire Phyllis from Chancellor, but I don't think Kane is going to get rid of her that easily. She won't go away, and she seems to have a crush on him. Audra and Kyle are going to beat each other's throats even more now that Nate has rejected Audra again. And Claire has taken off to LA with Holden. They're going to be lashing out and blaming each other for their breakups. Claire is heading to LA to meet Holden. She's very upset about the things that Kyle has been saying in the breakup, and that may make her more vulnerable to Holden. He does have a big crush on her, but still, he is a wild card according to Audra. Nick and Sharon head to LA to see Noah soon. We're going to have the recast actor, Lucas Adams. Jill wants to try and make things right. She's doing damage control with Billy while trying to stop Kane from targeting the whole town.